Well, YouTube viewers, did you find that over Christmas, well, I mean, it's the same every Christmas, that when you're into VooTube and things like, I mean, nobody watches telly anymore, do they? All that's all a load of old rubbish, isn't it, really? But I have found on VooTube that at Christmas and New Year, people don't upload much anymore. You know, obviously, well, of course, they're having a holiday, aren't they? And so, over these holiday periods, I do find myself wandering down corridors within YouTube that I don't usually go down. And I've done that this year as well, I have. And I found this brilliant podcaster, and he's like a documentary maker, and he calls himself, what's it, Liquid Bullet Productionz. Oh, he's fantastic, he is. I think he's like a sports commentator, he was, or something, or a boxing commentator, big lad he is. And he gets himself about the place and he makes documentaries. And he goes up to like retired scenes of crimes, detectives, chief detectives, lead detectives, superintendent chief detectives, and proper top quality people. And he goes about and does all these like old unsolved crimes and everything. And I hate being funny. It was like being on the set of Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, it was, when I watched it. It was absolutely fantastic. It was like, and you know that other one, that Snatch? Oh, it was brilliant. I watched one last night, the Essex Boys murders. Oh my gosh, I couldn't stop watching it. It was so intriguing. There was a ex-detective retired chap on there, what was his name? Albert Patrick or something? What a man. I mean, he had the brains. I mean, his brains were huge. I mean, you wouldn't get anything past him. I mean, it really did knock that old fraud wedger into a cocked hat. I mean, you can really see how these things pan out. And I don't know what the chap's name is, but Liquid Bullet Productionz, pop it into your search bar and have a look. Absolutely fantastic. You'll be riveted. You won't be able to stop watching it. That's how riveting it was. And then I found myself going to these other channels as well, like a official All or Nothing podcast, and the All or Nothing, and the officially All or Nothing, and Somebody's Gone Somewhere Nothing podcast. I don't know who they were. Lots and lots of bad boys. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I ain't being funny, but I've got 12 sons of my own, and I mean, 2 of them used to be daughters. So I do know what bad boys are like, and now I've found them, to be honest, when I haven't seen my sons for a while, I know where I'm going to look. I'm going to look on that, what's his name, that Prawn Shatwood or Ratwood or whatever his name is, that one that looks like Mr. Potato Head. Yes, he gets all these working class boys on there, he does. And I ain't being funny, but I think some of them are a touch vulnerable. I really do. I mean, some of them just need a hug off Gert, they do. They just need some motherly love, that's what they do. And I'll be honest, I think he exploits them, because he's had a communist professor on there the other day. I mean, what a pretentious, elitist, nasty piece of work he was. Professor Dr. Burt, or whatever his name was, looked like bloody Karl Marx. I mean, how ridiculous can you get walking around looking like bloody Karl Marx? I mean, it's not like, oh, my hair just happened to be like that. No, you've grown your hair like that. You look like bloody Karl Marx, and you're a communist professor. He's got him on there. Communism, oh, it's a wonderful thing. Then he had another chap on there, oh, the Great Reset. And if anybody says anything bad about you, Mr. Attwood, do you know what he does? He just calls them trolls. And he thinks if he just throws that word around a bit, it really puts everybody off from actually, you know, doing a reaction video, or, dare say, having an opinion. And I'll tell you what I think his little game is, because I've given it a little bit of thought, and I thought to myself, wow, I thought, seeing as how he's a communist, obviously. Oh, and another thing, he went on about that Machiavelli. You know that Niccolo Machiavelli bloke? I mean, he's a byword in underhanded, sneaky slidiness, that Machiavelli. I mean, he invented it, he didn't care. And that Shatwood, I mean, everyone knows that the stockbrokers and bankers and surgeons and people, well, not that he's a surgeon, I think he was some sort of banker, and I did say banker with a B. He was a banker, and they do say that they figure high on the psychopathy scale, whatever it's called, psychopathy, psychopath, sociopath, narcissism, anyway, I think it's a little bit of a combination of all of them for you, Mr. Attwood. I mean, he sits there gurning his head off, and I don't know whether it was a comedy channel actually, maybe I've got it wrong, because last night he come on there and he went, he said, oh, you know that Jimmy Irish bloke that lives in Glasgow and he does a podcast, nice chap, he has lovely teeth. He said, we're going to have a fight. I mean, I'm not being funny. I mean, I thought, girls, you know, you can see them fighting like this. I mean, it's just going to be too ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, my daughters could do him not being funny. I mean, and I don't mean do him like that, I mean knock him out. I mean, he ain't hard, he's just a big old jelly. What is it? He's an MMA fighter, or he can do origami or something. I don't know. Anyway, what a load of old rubbish. It's all the front. Then I was seeing some other channels on there, and they were going, Shaun Attwood pays me money. He pays me £2,000, he does. He wants me to do my own podcast to expose people. And I thought, I'm not being funny. It's not bloody Tinder. I mean, it's not OnlyFans. I don't want people being exposed on your YouTube. I mean, I watch it to watch nice stuff. I mean, if you want to watch porno, you get a DVD, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't know. But anyway, I thought about that Shaun Attwood, and I thought to myself, he's a very dodgy little character, he is, isn't he? Because, I don't know if you've noticed, YouTube viewers, but I've got more than a passing acquaintance with you communists. I know an awful lot about you communists. I do. Oh, yes, I do. And when I see all these working class lads going on there, and he seems to draw them in with, I don't know what he draws them in with, he just, come and tell us your story. And then I think to myself, well, when the communists bring in that social credit score, guess what class is going to be bottom of the pile again, just like we've always been? The working classes. That's where they're going to be, at the bottom of the pile. And not only that, once he's got all the boys on there, and he's got them all bitching and arguing, I mean, you got that Becky Heggy, or Heggy Decky, or whatever his name is. I mean, the guy's like a bloody Shrek, he is. He's bloody huge. He had him on there. His face was all smashed up and this, that and the other. Oh, he's hard, he's got a scar. I mean, hasn't anybody told these stupid girls, bitchy girls arguing, that I don't know what they are, that don't be scared of a man with a scar. You want to be scared of the bloke that give him the bloody scar, not the man with the scar. I mean, they're just a bunch of blooming girl guides, they are. And I think Mr. Attwood, I'm being honest, I think he is exploiting them. Because I think if you've put yourself out there and you've put all your details all over the interweb, when they bring in that social credit score, you're going to be bottom of the pile again, you are. Yes, you are. You're going to be just like your great-grandfathers, you are. Great-grandfathers. Thigh deep in mud in France, they were in the First World War, Second World War, and your great-grandfathers or your grandfathers were running up the Normandy beaches, and the Germans were there like a bloody turkey shoot. And that's what you boys remind me of. I mean, you're just playing into it. You're playing into his hands. That's what you're doing. Because I can see what his bloody game is. He's up to no good, he is. And another thing, I mean, hasn't anybody told you that there's no such thing as a retired detective? There's no such thing as a retired policeman. If you boys have bothered to listen to your mums and your grannies a bit more, you'd all know that. Never trust a copper, whether he's bloody retired or not. I mean, you know, unless he's doing like a good documentary, and I mean, what he's saying is factual and he's got paperwork to back it up. I mean, you don't want to really believe anything he's saying. And not only that, that Shaun Attwood, he has more coppers around his podcast than you even see ever. If you go and try some cop shop, you don't see them. I mean, he has so many coppers around him. I'm always expecting that audit in Britain and Marty Blackburn to turn up and do a bloody audit on him. That's how many coppers he's got around him. I mean, come on, boys. You need to start using your nodules, you do. I cannot believe you're letting this nasty little Mr. Potato Head take you all in and exploit you the way you're letting him. Because, I mean, he's just a bloody wrong and he is. And I wouldn't trust him as far as I could spit a bus. I wouldn't. No, I bloody well wouldn't. You want to listen to Gert, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah.